My brothers and sisters in Christ, yesterday in the Gospel we heard the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, the rich man who ate sumptuously and dressed in fine purple linen that had no concern for the poor Lazarus right at his doorstep. And I saw a particular priest on social media that commented about suddenly feeling awkward and self-aware as he proclaimed that gospel as a fat man wearing purple vestments, proclaiming this parable from the Ambo. And so this illustrates what's at the heart of today's gospel passage, which is sometimes our own lack of self-awareness, especially when it comes to really challenging passages or hard teachings. We're quick to be able to apply them to others, to those whose either hypocrisy or sinfulness that we see, but sometimes we're not so quick to see the same fault in ourselves. And so today Jesus presents this parable of the vineyard and the horrible conduct of the people that the land is given possession to, for their not only their failure to produce fruit, but their ill treatment of the master and his servants. And so, of course, the trap is set by the parable as Jesus at the end asks the scribes and Pharisees, what will the master do? And they rightly proclaim the sentence, the condemnation they should receive, only for Jesus to turn and point out that they are the people in the parable. It reminds me of the same passage when the prophet goes in after King David has his affair with Bathsheba and murders Uriah the Hittite in order to cover it up. And a parable is presented to him, and David immediately proclaims that the man in the parable should be put to a horrible death. And the prophet says, the man is you. In the same way, Jesus does the same thing to the scribes and Pharisees. Okay, you're quick to show the horrible sentence for this misconduct, and yet I'm speaking about you. And at this, they're kind of left to grind their teeth at the end. And he says the vineyard will be taken away and given to someone who will produce the fruit at the right time. And so the season of Lent, again, is the opportunity for us to do the uncomfortable self-examination. And this isn't just a psychological exercise. Lent isn't a season of self-improvement, but it's the time of humility to allow the Spirit to scrutinize our hearts, to make the space before God to see with clearer eyes, with clearer spiritual sight, and to see the places. And so today's gospel asks us, am I bearing fruit in accordance with what the master has asked of me? The people in the parable were put in charge of this vineyard to bear fruit, and they didn't. What have I been entrusted with? And am I bearing fruit for what the master has given to me? Am I being a good steward of that to which I've been entrusted with? Each of us should be asking this question of ourselves. What has the Lord given to me? What has the Lord asked of me? Am I being true to him? Am I being a faithful servant? If not, what do I need to change? May we reflect well, not just out of a sense of guilt or shame, because this self-examining will always lead to some unhappy truths that we are sinners, that we are flawed, and in many ways we have failed God. But that's not meant to leave us in the place of guilt and shame, but to lead us to reconcile with him and to start anew, that we might be faithful to the calling we have received. May God bless you all.